and we're going to talk about launching and what that looks like, and why you guys, whatever product or service that you're thinking about launching, why you don't have to worry about it being perfect. Let's talk about a little backstory. When we're trying to launch something, we're always trying to make it perfect, right? Before we even get to that though, let's start and go backwards a little bit. What does it mean to launch something? Well, first you have to have an idea, and then from there you have to take the idea and research it to make sure that, one, you're passionate about it and that you enjoy it, but two, that there are actually people that want to see it and that are actually going to use it, right? So you really have to take that idea and start to let it evolve and try to see where it goes. Then you want to do your research, and after you do that research, that's when you start to create it and start to develop that idea into a product, a service, a business, right? Well, you may not have all the answers, and you may not know exactly all the ins and the outs. You take your idea, you research it, and then you start to develop it, and you start bringing it into reality, right? You start taking it and developing it into your product, your service, or your business. Well, then you get that fear, that imposter syndrome, right? That jumps in and is like, whoa, hold up. What are you doing? You can't do this. This is not you. You're not able to do this. Why would somebody buy it from you? What's the big idea here? Somebody already has it. You name it, the list continues, right? Anything and everything will come up and give you that self-doubt and that fear of going live with it, whether it's online or if it's hard copy, if you're printing something and sharing it with the world. It doesn't matter, but that fear and that imposter syndrome and that self-doubt all kicks in. So even for me, we're all affected by that, no matter how good you are at what you do or how high up on the command post you are, you're always going to have that. It's just, that's what it is. So what do you do to get past that? Well, you have to keep it moving. You have to know that you're just doing the best that you can. And as long as you're doing the work and the research, you know that it's going to be great. And you can feel it too. Like with Stupid Easy, right now, to tie it in and give you an example, right now I'm going to launch stupideasy.com. Technically, you can go to the website right now, which I encourage you to do, and sign up to be notified when it goes live, because it's going to go live soon. But here's the thing, and I've been working on it for the past year, and to kind of give you a little bit more background too, because I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I've been doing advertising, sales, marketing, all of this for a long time. I mean, this is going back into the mid to early 2000s, like 2005. So I've been doing this for a long time, and now it's just finally all coming together in one spot. And I used to have my own magazine that I developed. That was an idea that I was like, I want to create a magazine. I can't move to New York and work at Men's Health, which was my dream job. I was like, you know what? I'll stay home and I'll do it myself and I'll create my own magazine. And I did. And you can see that on edtroxelcreative.com. It's called Mix It Up Magazine. Creating my own magazine was a huge success. It didn't make any money, but that's okay. It did what it needed to. It got me to the next step, and that next step kept flowing over up until right now. So everything that I'm doing right now with building stupideasy.com and the platform that I can't wait to share with you guys, everything I'm building and doing is stuff I've already done before. It's just at another level. I've just taken it to the next level. And just like you, before launching something, you're afraid to put it out there. You're afraid to share it with others. And you're not sure if it's going to be what you envisioned, because once you start opening up to other people, fresh pair of eyes, they start seeing other things. They start seeing the opportunities. They start seeing the strengths. And that's what you want to make sure that you're open to, and that you provide a forum or a survey, whatever. You want to provide a channel for them to be able to provide you with that feedback, because once you launch, you need that feedback in order to take it up to the next level. So let's take a look and go over that. So when you're launching something, you want to know that it's just like a website, right? If you've followed me before on here and you've heard me say this before, a website is a living, breathing document. It's always going to keep evolving. It's always going to keep changing. It's never going to be perfect. What you like today and love today about your website, guaranteed is going to change tomorrow, the next day, or next month, or next year. It's always going to change. Same thing goes for your product launches, service launches, whatever you want to do. Whenever you're launching something, it's going to change. So what's great about this is that you can plan ahead. So when you're creating something and you're trying to build something, make sure to create a plan. Create a plan of pre-launch, launch, and post-launch, but also what you want to include for each of the phases. You should have phases. So like for me, for instance, I was struggling. I was thinking, man, I really don't want to launch StupidEasy.com until it's like perfect, because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys exactly what I wanted and exactly what I've been envisioning for the past year to help you, right? Because you only get one shot and you only get 30, maybe 90 seconds of somebody's time before they either accept you or dismiss you, right? So that's important to realize. But at the same time, you have to remember that especially if you're a creative person and you're thinking, you're coming up with all the questions, you're coming up with as many answers as possible, you're doing all this research, you're going to miss something. And it's okay. I know that. I'm going to miss something, and it's okay. But that's why you start making all these documents, which you can refer to the user framework flow that I just posted on edtroxelcreative.com. Brand new blog post that will help you get organized and is tying in this process. And you want to make sure that you're creating a document that has phases. So you want to list out what are your most important phases that you want for pre-launch / your official launch. What is the next thing that you can put for the next launch? And you just want to keep that running list of here's exactly what I want, but also be open to here's exactly what my users want. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? So you have to launch your product in order to be able to find out exactly what your users want and need. And so that's why you need to have a featured forum or a survey or some easy accessible spot for those users to go and suggest a feature, which is exactly what I'm working on today, is building that into StupidEasy.com, so then that way you guys have a spot that you can suggest features, because I know what I like and I know what a lot of you like based off of the different areas that I've been researching, Facebook groups and Twitter and Periscope and everywhere. So I have an idea, and so I think they're good, but I need you guys to enforce it and say, yes, that's what I want. Yes, that's what I need. That one's not so much of a high priority as this. So that's what you want to keep in mind. Make sure as your product is evolving, as your service is evolving, you're constantly asking for that feedback. Look at feedback as strengths and opportunities, and make sure that you have a spot for people to share what they want and what they need, because that's the only way you're going to succeed. And the reason this all came up was because I had a great meeting with my good friend and mentor where we talked about all of this. And then prior to that, actually, this morning, which I'm writing a blog post on this and it will come out soon on edtroxelcreative.com. But prior to this morning, it all started with this morning where I have a whole thing of podcasts, right? I have a whole queue full of different podcasts, and I've actually been behind because I haven't been wanting to listen to them because I've been so busy with research. And when I want to listen to a podcast, I really want to sit down and listen because I always take notes all the time. So this morning I said, you know what? As I get ready, I'm really going to focus in and listen to one of my podcasts, which I'll share that in the blog post coming up later this week. So I listened to the blog. I randomly chose it, right? I think it's random. But after listening to it, it totally chose me. It was a podcast about how Air Bed and Breakfast, Airbnb, had started. It talked about exactly this topic, phases, your different launch phases, and it hit the point. It really hit home for me, which is why I'm so passionate about it today and why I'm so pumped up and excited. That's what you want to pay attention to, is those little signs, those little things that come up. You need to constantly be listening because you may miss it. You know, this morning I was just like, cool, Air Bed and Breakfast, Airbnb, I know what they are. Let's listen to this and see what it is. And every single point in there was like, they were speaking directly to me. It was almost like we were one-on-one right here. So just pay attention, keep those open. Know that it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're doing your research and you're constantly working on it and letting it evolve, that's what it is. And you'll feel it inside too. You really will. And you'll know that it's good, and that others are going to love it. You just have to also be open to that feedback and allow people to give it to you. So take that and run with it.